So this is the answer to question 4. Hopefully you've tried this problem on your own and you've got an answer and you're just checking your work here. So if we are completing another table for the area, remember area is the side squared or the length times the length. Both lengths for the square number 0 are 16. So we would do 16 times 16. And if we do this, we get 256 as my area. Square number 1 was an 8 by 8 square. So my area is going to be 8 times 8, which is 64. Square number 2 was 4 by 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. And square number 3 would have been 2 times 2, which is 4. All right, if we look at the exponential form of this number, we're going to say that it's y equals my initial value, which my initial value is always when x is 0. It would be 256. And we need to try and find our multiplier. So what is this decreasing by each time? See if you can take 256 and divide it by, try a couple things, see what you can find. If you said 4, you are correct. So it's decreasing by 4, but we got to make sure that we're writing it as a fraction, so 1/4, and then to the 0 power. Next one's going to be y equals 256, the 1/4 to the first power. Go ahead and continue your chart. There's our table completely filled out. So answering the questions. What is the growth rate for this problem? My growth rate is going to be 1/4. Write an equation for the area of a square number x. Y equals 256 times 1/4 to the x. My exponent here is going to be x. Use your equation to determine the area of a square number 20. All right, so our equation was y equals 256 times 1/4 to the 20th. Notice the question said write your answer in standard form, not scientific notation. So because of that, we've got to write out all of the zeros. So you should get 0.00000000233. Those were 9 zeros that I had. So it's a very, very, very small number. And question D, what does the square number -1, so if we did a square number -1 here, represent? And what is the area of square number -1? All right, so what I wrote here is that the square number -1 represents a bigger square. So therefore it shows what would happen if we did exponential growth instead of exponential decay. So instead of the sides getting smaller by 1/4, the area getting smaller by 1/4, we would then be getting a bigger area. And we would be multiplying, our multiply would be 4 instead of 1/4. Because remember, a negative exponent, it just flips the fraction. So instead of 1/4 here, it would flip it to 4/1. And then the area of that square number -1 would be 1024 units squared. If you finish this, go ahead and get going on your homework.